Hi pet people, welcome to my channel. Today I'm actually going to be upgrading but downgrading the rabbit's cage. I know that sounds confusing, but there is a reason I've called it that. Because I am changing it around, which is kind of upgrading, but because I'm removing this top level, I'm sort of downgrading it for them. Now, if you're worried about the amount of space they're going to have in their cage with just that bottom level, don't worry about that. The cage is merely here for the odd occasion when we are out basically all day, both of us, which happens maybe once a month because, yeah, we're just home a lot. So, or there's at least one of us home. So they're not in their cage very, very often. And the reason I want to remove this top section is that Apollo, who is our white rabbit down here, he actually started having seizures. Oh, when was that? February or March, I think it was. Maybe middle of March, he had a couple of seizures. Now, he hasn't had any since then, but purely out of huge abundance of caution, because you never know with seizures, really, if they're going to have more or not. I want to remove this top level and the risk of him falling down the steps if he were to have another seizure. So I couldn't bring myself to open that up to him if he did have another seizure in future and ended up hurting himself. Now, the steps have been blocked off since his first seizure, so they haven't been able to get up there, which is why there's no fleece upstairs. But now I just want to remove this completely. And then I think I'm actually going to build some little hidey houses and stuff using the grid panels and some of my fleece for the rabbits out in their pen area, because they don't really have a lot of hiding spaces except for in their condo. So that's what the plan is today, and I'm just going to get into it and start disassembling the condo. Not that it matters, because I have to separate these all anyway, but I'm cutting at the wrong level. I'm supposed to be cutting here, so I can just lift the whole thing off, and I started cutting here. So, yeah, it's not a big deal, but I'll just start down here again now. Actually, okay, here's the deal, I haven't done that wrong. So with my cage, I have this level here with the plywood in it, but I also have a layer of grids here, which are all connected along these front panels with cable ties, just to help support that plywood panel. Now, because that's essentially the roof of the cage, these cable ties need to stay connected or that roof's going to drop in. So I can't do that while that plywood panel is still in there. So I do need to remove this roof, remove the plywood panel, and then remove this layer, this set of panels, bit by bit, so that I can remove them and reconnect them as I go, and the roof doesn't basically just collapse into the cage. Because that would be really bad, especially when Apollo and Luna are in there sleeping. So I'm going to continue with what I was doing. It wasn't wrong. Subconsciously, I must have known, so I'm just going to keep going. Oh my gosh. You guys will never believe the amount of dust that's under this panel, but on top of the grids. That is a lot of hay dust. That is, that's probably 7 years of hay dust on top of the grids under this panel. Because while I have vacuumed and brushed and wiped under here, you can't get around to wipe the top of that wire. So, are you having fun balancing up there? Little missy, little missy. So yeah, that's fun. What am I going to do with this? Let's put this out here. Because of the level of dust in here, I think I'm actually going to remove the whole roof completely and maybe use this roof or rebuild the roof or something. And these panels need to be actually washed in a tub of water. And I'm actually going to also redo the door because I don't know if you can see on camera, this panel on the door is actually broken and bent. So I'm going to replace that as well while we're at it. So a little bit of work to do today, but we'll get there. It's alright, bun buns. Yeah, let's keep going. I'm going to move this out of the way because it is going to get in the way. Excuse me. Beep beep. Thank you. Oh, don't hit the camera. Oh. Here we go. Now, if you're wondering, I reinstalled this support bar across the top. Normally, if you're making a grid condo like this or a grid cage like this, that's just too high and too deep. You don't really need that support bar across the top. It will stop it from sagging a little, but it's not really necessary. The reason I have put it in is because I know my cats will be jumping on the condo again, and I'm going to put the mat back up here for them to lay on, and they like walking across it, so this support bar just really helps. It helps them to walk across it, and it helps keep it sturdy with their weight on top. So that's why I've done that. Now I've got to reattach some of these segments as I do the roof, and there's a couple of loose panels down here where I removed the shelf from. So I've got to get the roof pieces all I think I'm going to use the roof as it was existing from before, so I'm going to cut that off from the side panels. And I'm sorry, Dory's playing with one of her foraging toys, the plastic foraging wheel. It's quite noisy. So I've got to separate the roof panels from the side panels and get that connected on here, but I might connect the loose side panels on here first. see I have finished adjusting the rabbit condo, removed the top two layers of cubes, so I've taken away the top level. There's no more stairs under here for them to get up. Now I've just got to clip all these cable ties. Another time-consuming job. If you ever make a cube condo cage, buy way more cable ties than you think you'll need. I think I used about 500 cable ties when I first built this cage, and then obviously I needed more again when I did the extension. So always buy more than you'll think you'll need because you use so many. It's just always good to have multiples along each join, 2 in each corner and then 2 along each side. So it really adds up very quickly. So you can never have too many cable ties when you're building this kind of cage. So I'm going to try and keep this fleece over the top of the condo because it seems to make Apollo feel a little bit safer when he's got that little hidey spot. And then I'm going to use some of the other grids to build some little hidey tunnels and huts and things in the playpen area because they've got this little I got their wooden bendy bridge, but there's not really much for hiding under, so I figured they'd appreciate that and it would give them space out here for hiding rather than just having to stay in the condo to feel more secure. So that's the next plan. Alright guys, that's it from me for this video. As you can see, big change to the bunny's condo, but it's for the sake of Apollo's health and safety, so I think it was just a good idea to do it, that I didn't have to worry about it or worry about this looming piece of rabbit furniture that wasn't being used, this top section here. So it looks a lot cleaner in here without that, which is nice. The cat's probably going to be disappointed that they're not up so high close to the aircon and heater, but what can you do? Not too much. I might consider building like a little cat perch at the back perhaps, but undecided on that so far. But I think it's worked out quite nicely. I've got this little corner tunnel system here now for the rabbits, which Apollo has already been in and seems to like, which is good. It might help them to come out a little bit more during the day, because they do come out and they lay out here a lot. But I notice often if Apollo's going to be hiding, he's inside this little blue box, and I thought it might be nice for him to have an alternative area for hiding. And the same with Luna, she seems to shelter in here quite a bit, and I realised I didn't have a proper shelter out in their playpen for them. So that's really what's driven this video today and these changes. So thank you very much for watching and coming along with me for this journey. I've got quite a bit of cleanup to do beyond the rabbit pen. There are grids and bits of plywood and stuff just everywhere. So I've got to work out what I'm going to do with all of that. I might put the piece that was the top level, I might put it back up here if the rabbits, because they're used to having this blocked off, it might be beneficial for me to put that timber piece back up here. So they've got that blocked off, otherwise I'm just going to use fleece and then I can throw them in the wash when I need to, but the plywood would be neater and easier to clean, but it is quite heavy, I suppose, and I don't want to weigh this down again. I don't know, I haven't decided, and I'm really starting to ramble, so I do apologise. Thank you once again for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Remember to hit that subscribe button so you can catch all of my newest videos. I'll see you again next time. Bye!